love the Christmas music. Are you one of those people that likes it early or doesn't like it till Christmas? Let us know on Twitter. Let us know on Twitter how you're doing that. At America Trends TV. Hey, we are so lucky tonight to be rejoined by our friend of the show, David Schoonmaker. He has got a charity and a mission to help people communicate better. It's called Chalkin Social. And we had him here earlier this week, and we just didn't have enough time to get to everything. So, David, welcome back to America Trends.
Thanks so much, Amy. Appreciate you having me back.
That's very good branding you have there. Tell us about your hat.
No doubt. Chalkin Social, I started back in August of 2016. It was really all about me realizing that I just wasn't communicating as much with people anymore face-to-face, spending too much time on screens, spending too much time just not interacting with people, whether they're next to you at a bar, next to you on a flight, or perhaps you're just in a car with an Uber driver and you don't feel like talking. And I said, what the heck happened? Here I am, I'm going to be 50 years old, coming up this January, and over the past 2 years, I've had an opportunity to really live Chalkin Social. And you cannot wear this hat anywhere and not see people smile and ask you questions about it. And it's an immediate conversation starter, as we talked last time, and an icebreaker. So it's for kids who essentially can interact more face-to-face and learn that it's not all about devices. It's for adults who realize, wow, I can have fun with this. You can go on our Instagram page like you're showing now, and you'll see it's men, it's women, it's couples, it's young kids. We have a really special place for, again, those teachers who like to add a multi-sensory touch to their lessons. So they use the hats, and we call them chalktivities. They use them in class. At the same time, we have moms and dads who have children on the spectrum, whether it's delayed speech autism or nonverbal. And many of them can express themselves immediately using our chalkboards. And I was recently at the Autism Education Summit by Generation Rescue, and Jenny McCarthy heads that up. And we just had an incredible experience where moms and dads would come over and ask us about the hats. And next thing you know, their child's wearing them and drawing on them. And some would even say, my child doesn't even like wearing hats. They usually throw them on the floor, and we can't believe it. And it's really just a matter of, I think, everyone loves wearing something that they've designed and they've created, and they basically express who they are.
Okay, well, David, there it is. Note to the ladies.
Hey.
Merry Christmas, y'all. Talking to David Schoonmaker. You can find him there at his website. I'm sure there's a contact button there. David.
Oh, yeah.
Single. Okay. And I know one of the things that moved you, though, was a grant study by Harvard that showed something among people who live to a very long age, and it was a common theme. And what was that, David?
Yeah, there's no doubt that. Basically, it's Robert Waldinger is the current director on that study. It's a 75-year study where they studied 750 men from age 13 and onwards. 50% were from poor areas of Massachusetts, 50% from affluent areas. And when they initially asked the children what they wanted when they grew up, 50% said fame, the other 50% said wealth. And what it turns out when you progress to today, 70 of these men are still alive today. Every 2 years, they would do brainwave tests, they would do blood work, they would record them and interview them and watch how they interacted with friends and family. And they found that many of the men alive, who are, again, well in their 90s, some have diabetes, high blood pressure, any kind of health issues, but the vast majority surrounded themselves with very good social interactions with friends, with family and community. And that's something that's happening today. In France, recently banned mobile phones back in February in both middle and elementary schools.
Nice.
In China, they just reduced video game time for kids. And there's an incredible study by Adam Alter where he does a TED Talk and talks about, in a typical day, even from the time iPhones came out in 2007, we spend 8 hours of time sleeping, 8 hours working, and then we have our survival, our eating. And we have 5 or 6 hours at the end of the day before bed that we can do anything we wish. And that used to be activities in the street, playing wiffle ball and football. It could be reading. But now 90% of our time in that personal time is spent looking at a screen. And it's known that we spend about 28 minutes a day on applications that make us unhappy, and about 7 minutes a day on the applications that make us happy. And that's per application. So think about that. We're just continuously hoping to see fulfillment by getting a like or having someone follow us. And if we don't see people follow or like us, then we sometimes delete that post and post another that they might follow or like. But you will never not get fulfillment communicating with someone face to face and just letting them know who you are. And, you know, if you were to wear a hat, well, it might say this. And it's just, and kids in school today, I will go in and make presentations and ask a child in the corner, do you know this child's name in this corner? And when I went to school, you know, 40 years ago, I knew everyone's name in class by the second day.
Yeah,
and what's happening today is kids are spending their spare time on devices and not interacting. So I'm thrilled that some of these countries are taking that stand to make sure that time is limited. Yeah. Now, we never try to say that we're a replacement for screen time or replacement for amazing technologies, but we want to be a complement to it. That, you know what, there are fun ways you could interact face to face where it doesn't have to be looking at your device. And I will tell you, Amy, it is so much more fulfilling. And anyone who wears our hats will say, I'll always ask them, has there ever been a time you wore our hat where something amazing didn't happen? And they always say, no. People always come up to me and ask about the hat. So there's oftentimes we'll walk around and say, ask me about my hat. And people do exactly that. And the answer is, it's exactly what's happening. You just asked me about my hat, and now we're communicating, and we've never met each other before.
You are changing the world one hat at a time, one person at a time, David. And I know you have such a heart for charity, and we've got to get in these 5 ways to give to charity on a budget. And one is donate your time. We've got about a minute to get this in, so.
Sure. Well, I think, sure, donate your time. You know, right here in New York City, downtown, we have God's Hands. We deliver. It's really a great place that they make meals and donate. I think, you know, kindness and being kind is just another way to donate. I think so many people in the world today, you know, maybe, you know, don't have things that others have, or they may have some challenges, whether it's walking someone across the street, helping someone with their bags, or just telling someone hello and making them feel like part of the team.
Always something to keep in mind, David. And you say organize a drive to gather donations or gather your things to give away. We can all do that. And for sure, check out Chalkin Social Foundation, this nonprofit 501c3 that provides free Chalkin Social chalkboard snapback hats to teachers, healthcare practitioners, and parents all over the U.S. David, come back and see us soon, okay?
Thank you so much, and we'll do. Have a great one.
You too.
I know what it's like to feel like